One person has died in a house fire here in Middlefield. We just spoke with the fire chief and got new details. I'll have those coming up next.
And community members come together as search crews continue looking for 2 missing boaters. The resources being used to try to bring closure for the families.
And it's been a year since a Hartford police detective was killed in the line of duty. Lindsay Kane will share what is being done now to honor his memory.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good morning. It is Friday. Thanks for starting off yours with us here at Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus America areas.
And I'm Keith McGilvery. Really fortunate to have you with us as we get started this hour. We're going to do so with a check of the forecast. Meteorologist Matt Scott standing by. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning to you. Happy Friday.
Thank you.
Ready for the weekend?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Some of us have been ready for the weekend since Monday at this time. Good morning to you. Good to have you along. Here's what you need to know before you go. Friday finally feels normal. About time, right? And by that we mean the temperatures, not only for the highs, but the lows are up. So the dew points are up too. Still manageable. Got a little sun, got a little rain to talk about in the weekend forecast. Talk about it coming up. Satellite radar picture is fine. The flow, again, starting to shift a little bit. It's out of the northeast now, but we'll bring in a more east-southeasterly wind flow over the next few hours, and that'll help bump up the dew points a little bit. We are sandwiched right now between two weather systems. A fairly vigorous low well out to sea and an incoming front. Which one's going to play into the weekend forecast? Thankfully, the one with less rain. How's that? 57 in Hartford, 61. Our lucky 61 in New Haven. And now your dew points into the upper 50s, approaching 60. We'll get there as we continue to bring in that flow from the south. So, temperatures. Right where they should be, near 80 degrees later on this afternoon. We're going to increase the cloud. A little fog out there, too, this morning. We'll check the traffic camera, see if we can find any, mainly in western Connecticut. Coming up, we'll talk about that weekend forecast. Time it all out for you. Coming up right now, you don't have to wait. Here's Symphony Privet with a look at traffic. Good morning.
Good morning to you, and good morning to you, Sunshine. Hope you're having a good start to your Friday so far. The morning commute's moving along smoothly. We are seeing a couple of those construction zones beginning to wrap up as we kick off this 6 o'clock hour. Oh, lost our Hartford cam. We were checking out 84 going through downtown Hartford, but we can't tell you things are moving smoothly. At this point of the morning, your drive times are looking good. No delays on 91 South heading to the 84 interchange and 84 East heading toward the Hartford Tunnel. Looking good as well out in Waterbury. Checking out the morning commute there along I-84. No delays on either side of the interstate. Route 8 out in the Seymour area. Also looking good as speeds are moving around 66 miles per hour. Your next update coming up at 6:30.
All right, Symphony, thanks so much. Now to breaking news out of Middlefield this morning. One person is dead after a fire destroyed a house early this morning.
Fox 61's Brooke Griffin live at the scene on Dwight Drive with new details from folks at the scene. Brooke, good morning.
And good morning to you. We were able to just speak to the fire chief here of Middlefield, and he told us, unfortunately, one person has died in this house fire. Now, we also know that one person escaped as well. So if you want to take a look at the scene video from earlier this morning, we know that this call came in around 1 o'clock. That was a neighbor that called it in. And luckily, a lot of first responders, those volunteer firefighters, actually live in this neighborhood. So they were able to get here very quickly. But the flames were so heavy that they had to upgrade that fire response pretty quickly. Now, 2 people were in the home at the time. One of them was trapped inside. They say that whenever they got here, they found heavy fire on the front porch. That's really where it was centered at. They say it was so strong that they ended up getting pushed back and couldn't go inside to find if there was anybody inside at the time. Now, that victim was found dead on or near the front porch. No ID on them yet, though. We also know that the family dog got out safely along with one other person that was in that house. And we know that several first responders are here as far as different firefighters and different people that are investigating. There are no hydrants in this neighborhood, though, so they are having to bring in water tankers. That fire has been knocked out for several hours, though. We also know that a firefighter was injured and taken to the hospital, but he's been released. We spoke with the Middlefield First Selectman, and he says that this is a tragic morning. Take a listen.
It's a small community, and everybody knows everybody or knows somebody that's part of the family. Our community is very small. and it's a very tight-knit community.
Of this fire, so there's still a lot going on here in terms
And state police are investigating along with the fire marshal. Right now it's too soon to tell if anything really went wrong in this situation. They say they are looking into foul play. They are looking into accidental causes. Right now it's just too early in this investigation, but they will be out here for most of the day and we'll have updates throughout the morning. Live in Middlefield, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Brooke, appreciate your efforts at the scene and that update this morning. 6:05, a man from Wolcott is expected to survive after police say he was stabbed in the head. It apparently started with a fight over a text message chain with another man last night. The men ended up meeting somewhere on Saddle Road. Officers say the suspected stabber here, Austin Baker of Southington, then pulled a knife and hit the other man in the back of the head. Baker being held on a $100,000 bond this morning. 2 men still missing this morning after a boat crashed in Old Saybrook on Monday night. Police from 8 state and local agencies are out on the water and in the air searching for them. The Taffville Fire Department using a remote operated vehicle. We're told it's equipped with cameras and sonar capabilities here, which can scan the water from top to bottom. Police, family and friends rather, of the 9 people involved in the crash awaiting anxiously at the nearby marina. They've been there for days, and speaking with locals stopping by the water, you can feel how heavy this is just weighing on the entire community.
Oh, definitely. I don't think there's anyone that I've spoken to that hasn't brought it up and is feeling just the same thing, a sense of personal loss, even though we don't know the people, but it's just part of this whole area in the community.
Now, we do not have an update on the condition of the boat captain. At last check, he was in the hospital in critical condition. It has been a year since Hartford Police Detective Bobby Garten was killed in the line of duty.
He and another officer were sitting in a police cruiser when a car crashed into them. Fox 61's Lindsay Kane is live in Hartford with more on how the city is continuing to mourn him and remember him.
Hi, good morning. A candlelight vigil is scheduled for tonight to remember and honor Garten. Now tomorrow, a ride to remember is also scheduled from Springfield to here in Hartford to remember the officers that have lost their lives in the line of duty. Garten was an 8-year veteran of the Hartford Police Department. The 34-year-old was a passenger in a police cruiser heading to a call 1 year ago today. His partner was driving through an intersection on Asylum Avenue when a man crashed his car into their cruiser, killing Garten. Police say that man sped off from a traffic stop a few blocks away. The suspect, 18-year-old Richard Barrington, faces several charges. This marks a difficult day for Hartford police, who continue to struggle mourning the loss of one of their own.
It's a little somber mood this week. The emotions, the feelings of what we all went through last year kind of coming up to the surface, especially being the first year. So, but just leaning on each other and trying to get through it as best as we can.
And the community is set to lean on each other tonight as well at that candlelight vigil that's set for tonight here at Hartford Police Headquarters. Also, that ride to remember is also scheduled for tomorrow morning. Live in Hartford this morning, Lindsay Kane, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Lindsay, thanks.
Thank you. And as Lindsay mentioned, the suspect charged in Garten's death, well, his case is still making its way through the court system. Richard Barrington Jr. has been charged with a dozen crimes, including manslaughter. He pleaded not guilty and is locked up on $1 million bond. Barrington's next court date is set for October 16th. People gathering at Sherwood Island State Park in Westport yesterday to honor the lives lost on 9/11. Each name of a person from Connecticut who was killed on 9/11 was read aloud. Nearly 23 years ago, 161 families lost their loved ones, including the loved ones of Thomas Thurkoff. His sister says she attends the ceremony in his honor every year.
My brother was a funny, very smart guy. He was an executive. He had just been named the top bank analyst by the Wall Street Journal that summer that he was killed. We didn't know for days, or it took us 3 or 4 days to reach an agreement that he had died, and then to tell my parents that was in fact the case.
Now, she also told us that his family members remember him for the way he lived and not just for the way he died.